Hello and welcome back. Every organization, every industry has a certain language that they speak in that industry or in that organization. And some people call this jargon, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about our jargon, some of our words that we use in our managers' meetings, our words that we use throughout the organization, as well as some industry-specific sort of language as well. So we have managers meetings, we call them huddles. We have 6 points that we tend to talk about. We have something called 515. We also have the 1515. We have e-learning lists. We talk about performance reviews. We talk about performance management frameworks. That's just in terms of actually the operations of the organization. From a perspective of culture, there's a key cultural document that we tend to refer to, and that's often referred to as being above or below the line. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that particular document and that particular sort of cultural language that we have, and then I'll touch on a few others. So, when we talk about above and below the line, and we ask the question, are you above or below the line? What we're talking about is, and what we're referring to is, that we can all make excuses and we can all have reasons of why not, why we're not doing it. And it's easy to do that. And, when we're talking in terms of being above the line or above the line thinking, we're talking about ownership, accountability. We're talking about being responsible. Ownership, accountability, responsibility. Below the line, and below the line thinking is about blaming others, blaming government, blaming policy makers, blaming the funding bodies, blaming employers, colleagues, blaming everybody and every man and his dog. Blame. We're talking about having excuses, for things that you haven't done, or excuses for the results that have happened, and also to a certain level, partly being in denial, having blind spots, not understanding the reasons for the issue, the reasons for the situation. So we call this being above the line or below the line. So you want to be in a position where, very simply, you have above the line thinking, ownership, accountability and responsibility, and you start with that in mind in terms of your language. It's a language of ownership, language of accountability and responsibility. And when somebody's talking to you, you can easily see, is that language above or below the line? So, again, very much with regard to peer support, we encourage each other to challenge each other in the right way, challenge each other's language, again, in the right way, and also be in a position where, you can be a role model for others. It's not about all of us being, having titles of manager or leader, but it's about all of us having leadership, which isn't about a title. It's about a leadership mindset. It's about, again, being in a position where you take responsibility, you take ownership, and you hold yourself accountable, and you hold others accountable as well. So that's above and below the line. We also have another key document which refers to the 3 pillars. So this is the Pathway Group's 3 pillars of sustainable growth. Growth of any kind is fantastic, but it's sustainable growth that you want. And how do you achieve growth that's sustainable? How do you maintain growth that's sustainable? There's no point being a one-hit wonder. There's no point really growing and then being in a position where you're back as well. It's like, one step ahead and then 2 steps back, or 1 step ahead and 1 step back. You want to be in a position where you're continuously moving ahead, moving forward in a sustainable way, in a way which is protective, in a way that is actually safe for the organization. And what are these 3 pillars of sustainable growth? Well, firstly, it's about numbers. It's being in a position where you understand your numbers, you understand your data, you're very much data driven. If you're measuring something, you can improve something. If you're aware of something, then you're more likely to be conscious of results and you're measuring that. So that's numbers, your data. Your systems and process driven. So, we want to be in a position where we have reliable systems, we have reliable processes, and we have a system and a process for very much everything that we do in this organization. And that's the aspiration. So, you're not dependent on people or a individual which is a high performer. We're dependent on our systems, and the systems and the processes do the bulk of the work. And that's what we sort of trust our success in, our systems and process. And the third pillar is a winning mindset. And this is really across the organization, and we continuously talk about our culture. We're going to continuously talk about what that winning mindset is. And part of that winning mindset is really going back to, the above and below the line thinking. And if you get the above and below the line thinking right, then you're home dry really with a winning mindset. The next key sort of cultural document for us is a phrase that we use quite often, which is PARRY, PARRY, PARRY. So this is about prioritizing according to risk, return and yield. But it's about leaving nothing to chance. It's about getting to know the detail. And we very much talk about being in a position where you understand you have a telescope perspective, so you can see the bigger picture. You've got the macro picture. You understand the bigger aspect of it, but also at the same time the detail. And I think it's the managers, it's the individuals where they lack the detail, then find the fact that they struggle and they're dependent on other people. If you know the detail yourself, you've got a fighting chance of actually success. You've got a fighting chance of actually making that difference that we're all trying to make. And at the same time, the helicopter perspective of the telescope, which is absolutely vital as well. So this is PARRY, PARRY, and from my perspective, this is if you're looking at prioritizing according to risk, then return and then yield, then automatically you focus on risk. Your mindset moves into a position where you're not complacent. Your mindset is one which is dealing with issues first, compliance first, quality first. You get that right, you're setting the bedrock for sustainable growth. Then you move on to the return and the yield, and if you get this right, this is your sort of priority matrix, your way of doing things. And in a nutshell, it's about doing things for the right reasons, the right time, and in the right way. So right reasons, the right time, and in the right way. So often what that means is really preserving what we've got first and then achieving next. Preserving what we've got, maintaining what we have. So the contracts that we have, the targets that we've got, our understanding the contracts that we've signed up to, what our profile is looking like, ensuring the fact that we're delivering on the outcomes that we've said, the outcomes that we've promised, and the outcomes that we've signed up to. Absolutely vital as an organization. That could be service level agreements within the organization, that could be our contractual obligations with our funding that we have. And talking about funding, I touched on funding previously. We've got a number of sort of funding streams. We've got a number of funding bodies that we're working with, and each of them has got different obligations that we have to commit to. Some of those obligations isn't just, a lot of them actually isn't just, it's not just about money, it's about the level of detail that goes into these contracts. It's about servicing specific needs of clients and recruiting specific learner numbers. It may be a split between male and female, it may be a split within regional areas, postcode areas. It could be targeting certain age groups, maybe young people, possibly over 50s, individuals that may have never had qualifications as well. And it's that detail. And all of these contracts have got different layers of detail, different layers of obligations that we need to fulfill and meet and ensure the fact that we're hitting on our outcomes. So we're in a position where we can preserve the contracts that we have, and hopefully grow the contracts that we have. And by doing that, we protect our reputation. Yeah. So in terms of the contracts that we hold, we're we've got a variety of contracts presently. One of our biggest areas is contracts in London. So we're currently supporting London's recovery and growth. We're doing that with the adult education budget. We do that with the Good Work for All contract, and we deliver on the Greater London Authority adult education budget. We've got branches of delivery centres. Our Beacon Centre is the Pathway Skills Zone centre in Lambeth. We call it Greenman. So this is a Greenman centre. Used to be a pub back in the day, and got converted to an education centre, and it was under the Lambeth Council for a number of years, and we took over a few years back, and we're very pleased the fact that it's our Beacon Centre in Lambeth, and it's something that we want to nurture and cherish and make sure the fact that it's effectively used. But we deliver across the GLA area. Not just in Lambeth, we're delivering across the region, and we have a number of other centres that we use. Some of them on shorter term licenses, some of them on shorter term leases, and a variety of activity that we do. Sometimes we're delivering to the employer's premises. Predominantly our contract is an employed contract, so we're delivering to learners that are employed. Either we're working directly with the employer or with those individuals themselves who are employed as well. And that's our focus. We're not delivering in GLA to the unemployed. We're delivering to employed, either directly to the employed person who's coming to us as a learner, or through the employer. And that's a contract we're very proud of, and very happy to deliver, and hopefully we can deliver that going forward as well in terms of the future. We also have a contract in the West Yorkshire region. So we're very pleased the fact that we're supporting West Yorkshire employers and residents, and we've secured a West Yorkshire combined adult education budget contract. And currently delivering a fair amount of volume in the Bradford, Leeds area, but also in other towns in the West Yorkshire region as well. And we've got centres in Bradford, we've got centres in Leeds. We've acquired premises in the Bradford town centre area, and again, looking forward to actually delivering more and more with the West Yorkshire combined region, West Yorkshire Combined Authority. For a number of years now, we've been delivering to Greater Manchester Combined Authority, GMCA. We have another centre there in Ashton under Lyme, and again we're calling it Pathway Skills Zone. So a lot of our delivery centres, Beacon centres, particularly Beacon centres, we brand as Pathway Skills Zone. And that gives us a permanent home, permanent base in those areas, alongside, as I said, the shorter term leases or licenses that we have as well. So that's a combination of delivery alongside working with employers. So Pathway Skills Zone in Ashton under Lyme in Clarence Arcade is another centre that we have. Again, proud of the actual activity there. And proud of what we delivered for the GMCA. We're also on a national basis delivering adults to train and improve, particularly at level 3. So this level 3 is something that we're quite known for, and we've built our reputation in terms of level 3 funding, and we deliver that in the West Midlands Combined Authority area, WMCA. We also deliver that in the GMCA area, and we want to deliver that across wherever we can as well. In terms of our other centres, particularly Beacon centres, we're very proud of our delivery in the Staffordshire region, particularly in Stoke-on-Trent. We've been in Staffordshire, Stoke-on-Trent now since 2011. A decade plus, 12-13 years delivery in that area, delivering a number of contracts, and presently working with Skills Training UK, but also working on SLC funding, looking at traineeships, looking at apprenticeships as well. So really proud in terms of our association with Staffordshire, delivering in Stoke-on-Trent, and very proud in terms of our Burslem Centre, which we acquired 3-4 years ago now as well. So in terms of other areas that we deliver, because of our the restart scheme procurement that we were able to successfully get through Serco, in partnership with Serco, we started delivering more activity in Birmingham. So in terms of Birmingham activity, we are in Scala House in the city centre of Birmingham, but also in Dudley, in addition to Walsall as well. So Walsall is another area where we've been more than a decade, 12 years plus in the Walsall area. We started delivering welfare to work, the work program at the time, and then delivered on a number of contracts, Troubled Families contract and various other contracts throughout. Currently delivering learner loans funding, but also delivering Restart as well. So our focus has been predominantly supporting long-term unemployed, getting them into work. Really proud of our work there. Delivering also traineeships. Proud of our activity there, opening doors to young people in terms of their careers, and getting young people transitioning from a traineeship onto an apprenticeship program. Dudley is another area that we've moved to, and we also delivered in the Black Country region as well. So again, helping people to gain gainful employment, long-term sustainable employment, upskilling and reskilling. And for the last few years, a year and a half, we've rejuvenated our centres. We've actually spent time and effort in terms of making sure our centres are fit for purpose. We've also spent a fair amount of time and activity ensuring the fact that our management team, our leadership team, and some of the core people in terms of our trainers, particularly what we call our frontline leaders. These are business development people. These are individuals that have got contact with the outside world, whether that's learners, whether that's employers. Our frontline leaders are the best that we can. So we're continuously looking for staff that can actually inspire individuals, that can make a difference, and make a meaningful difference, and that's been our focus as well. So not just in terms of the physical facilities, but also ensuring the fact that we've got the right people in the organisation as well. So moving a little bit on in terms of our other funding streams, we're working with Nottingham College, and we're delivering in the what we call the D2 and 2 region. So this is Derby, Derbyshire, Nottinghamshire. So D2 and 2, Derby, Derbyshire, Nottinghamshire. So we work on behalf of Nottingham College, delivering adult education budget in that particular region, again focusing on employed activity, focusing on working with employers and individuals that want to access that are working but want to access funding to upskill themselves, or in some cases reskill themselves. In addition to that, we've had a long association with the Department for Work and Pensions, DWP, working on DPS sort of procurement, and we continuously look for funding streams directly from the Department for Work and Pensions, and we are currently approved on the DPS2 framework. And whenever the opportunity arises, we try and secure funding to deliver to people, working with the local job centres to get them into gainful, sustainable employment. So if I try and work through give you some sort of idea of the level of activity that we've delivered. So the last full complete academic year, and I'm talking about the year completing in 2021, we delivered to just over or just near 2,700 learners. But in terms of aims, that's nearly 6,500 aims. We deliver a number of qualifications. Some of our qualifications are funded by advanced learner loans. Some of them are AEB. So AEB is probably the majority of what we deliver. Nearly 1,800 sort of qualifications on AEB funding, 400 plus qualifications on advanced learner loans funding. We also have the skills support for the workforce funding, nearly 300 qualifications that we've delivered there. 130 plus for traineeships, in addition to the apprenticeship programs that we deliver as well. So apprenticeships currently is probably our smaller activity, or it's a small part of what we deliver. As an organisation, we took the decision to slow down our apprenticeship delivery for a number of reasons. Partly it's about getting the right people in the organisation, staffing, partly also from a risk management perspective as well, ensuring the fact that we've got the right mechanisms in place. So we slowed down deliberately our activity on apprenticeships. We were delivering at one time 1,200, 1,300 learners, or we had on our books 1,300 apprentices, and we've considerably reduced that. Last year we delivered 22, but we have aspiration now, because we believe we've got the right people in place, the right foundations, to actually make that to be a big part of what we deliver, or a bigger part of what we are delivering. Something that we measure, again, talked about, being numbers driven and, understanding your data. We continuously talk about positive destinations, positive outcomes, and what's happening with the learners that are coming onto our programs. Where do they go next? And what's their destination? What impact are we having? And we continuously look at our outcomes, our destinations, not just the success rates, but really in terms of outcomes as well. So, we're proud of the fact that 75% of the individuals that come onto our programs, actually we can classify as having a successful outcome. So 75% of people we can classify as having a successful outcome. These are the individuals that we can track. There may be some people that we may not be able to, but the ones that we can, 75% have had a successful outcome. So that's a blessing. We're very, very pleased with that. Obviously, we want to have aspirations to continuously grow that, but again, it's being in a position where we understand our starting point, we understand where we are, and we then have aspirations which are which are growth aspirations, with challenging aspirations to actually grow those numbers. In terms of success rates, these are individuals that come onto our programs, that end up completing the programs. We're very pleased in terms of some of our success rates, particularly with regard to adult education budget, where 96% of our learners complete or have completed programs, say in the London area. In terms of our non-devolved, what was our non-devolved contract, we had 90% of our learners that completed there. Again, we're 90% above for the GMCA learners as well. That's predominantly something that really pleases us. We're 90% plus on our AEB activity. We are near 80%, I believe is 78% on our advanced learner loans. We're 90% again on our CIRCO activity. We're more than 90% on our skills support for workforce, and that seems to be the benchmark that we're going for. In some cases, it's 95%, 92% on different contracts, but always aspirationally at that sort of figure. In terms of ensuring the fact that we maintain a high success rate, particularly on our AEB activity. These are the contracts that we deliver. STUK, various others that have different sort of success rates. One of the areas I think it's important for us as an organisation is really understanding our traineeship numbers. Because we have smaller numbers now, sometimes when a learner leaves, it has a higher impact, it has a bigger impact as well. So our success rates for our apprenticeships is 65%, 64.8% success rate for our traineeships. This is last year's figures. Is above 85%, 86%, and generally it's something that we continuously measure, we continuously monitor ourselves. We also have continuous targets in terms of what does our picture look like and where are we going to be the end of the academic year, and potentially how do we improve our success rates and look at those sort of trends, not just look at what's happened in the past in terms of the lag data, but also the lead data as well in terms of projecting future activity as well. Very pleased the fact that across the organisation, more than half of our learners are from a BAME background. So these are learners that are either Black, Asian, minority, ethnic. It's an acronym that the government is using less and less, but we're still using that as for now until we find until the government sort of gives us a better word for us to use, but BAME background. So these are individuals from a multi-ethnic, multicultural background, and as I said, more than 50%, 53% of our learners are from a BAME background. So really pleased with that. We are an organisation that aspires to change lives through skills and work. We are an organisation that looks to make a meaningful impact in terms of all that we deliver. Make a difference to our customers, to our learners, to our employers, to our stakeholders, and we're doing this continuously, ensuring the fact that we become an indispensable partner of choice to our funding bodies, partner of choice to our employers. And thank you for allowing me to share some of our data, some of our stats with you, and thank you for listening and appreciate again your time. Thank you.